Well, hello, my name is Greg Carroll, and I'm a certified financial planner and investment advisor with WWM Financial. Thank you for joining me today as we take a deep dive into the Mega Backdoor Roth IRA. This webinar will explore one of the most powerful and often overlooked strategies available to high-income earners, the Mega Backdoor Roth IRA. In this webinar, you're going to discover how this unique approach can provide tax-free growth opportunities, allowing you to maximize your contribution and avoid costly tax implications in the future. In this session, we'll cover what is the Mega Backdoor Roth, its benefits, the eligibility, steps to implementation, and potential pitfalls and other considerations. So what is the Mega Backdoor Roth IRA? It's a high contribution strategy for retirement accounts that allows for post-tax contributions and Roth conversions. Now, these contributions are above the regular contributions and catch-up contributions that you're all more familiar with. In 2025, the IRS limit on pre-tax and/or Roth contributions is $23,500. And if you're over age 50, you're eligible for a $7,500 catch-up. And new to 2025 is an extra catch-up for individuals between the ages of 60 and 63. You can actually contribute $11,250 this year. So also, the limit on combined employee and employer contributions in a retirement plan is $70,000 for those of you under age 50. $77,500 ages 50 to 59 and over age 64. Or $81,250 for those of you in that 60 to 63 age bracket. This total contribution of these much larger amounts is what we are targeting with the strategy today. So how does the Mega Backdoor Roth work? Well, the process is contributing to a 401k with after-tax dollars up to those IRS limits that we just spoke about, and then converting those contributions into a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k. So once you've maxed out your regular contributions, either the pre-tax or post-tax Roth, you then start contributing on an after-tax basis to the plan, but not into the Roth bucket because you've already maxed out that option. This is where the $70,000 IRS maximum limit comes in. But remember, this number is a total of employee and employer contributions. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're under age 50 and you contribute $23,500 to your account. And let's assume that your employer contributes $6,500 as a match for a total of $30,000. That means you could potentially contribute another $40,000 on an after-tax basis before you hit that $70,000 limit on total contributions. So if your plan allows after-tax contributions, this is where you can really turbocharge your retirement account. Then after you make those after-tax contributions, you convert them into either a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k, depending on what your plan offers. What are some of the key benefits of the Mega Backdoor Roth? One of the biggest is the tax-free growth potential. Roth IRAs grow tax-free, making them a very powerful tool for retirement. So let's say you have the discretionary income to invest beyond the regular limits of a 401k. You may have a choice. You could invest the extra income in a taxable account and potentially pay taxes every year on those earnings. Or you could invest in a tax-free manner inside a Roth IRA or Roth 401k and possibly avoid taxes on all the future growth. Also with the Mega Backdoor Roth, it's a much higher contribution limit as opposed to the regular Roth IRA. As in 2025, the Roth IRA, regular Roth IRA contribution limit is $7,000 or $8,000 if you're over age 50. Plus, if your income is over $236,000 as a joint filer or over $150,000 as a single filer, you are actually phased out from being able to make Roth contributions into the IRA directly at that point. The Mega Backdoor Roth allows for much greater contributions. Also, flexibility and control in retirement is another valuable benefit of having a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k. With traditional IRAs and 401ks, you must begin taking what are called RMDs, or required minimum distributions, when you turn age 73. If most of your retirement savings are in either pre-tax 401ks or pre-tax IRAs, you could potentially be looking at a tax time bomb when that time comes. In addition, Medicare premiums are also based on your income in retirement. So Roth IRA and Roth 401ks are not subject to RMDs and are distributed tax-free. So they also do not count as income for Medicare purposes. Whereas the pre-tax IRAs and pre-tax 401ks are treated as income when you distribute, which means you will be paying more for Medicare if all of your retirement savings were taxed when you withdraw it. So what are some of the eligibility and requirements? In order to take advantage of the Mega Backdoor Roth IRA, you need to find out if your 401k plan allows for after-tax contributions. And if the answer is yes, then does it also support in-service withdrawals or in-plan Roth 401k conversions? The best way to find out whether your plan supports these options is to ask your benefit coordinator or go online with your 401k provider and pull up the plan document to find out the answer to these two questions. How do you implement the Mega Backdoor Roth IRA? Once you've confirmed that your plan permits after-tax contributions and Roth conversions, you want to begin maxing out your regular contributions plus catch-ups before you start making after-tax contributions up to the IRS limits based on your age. Again, those under age 50, it's $70,000, 50 to 59 and over 64, $77,500, or $81,250 for those ages 60 to 63. Then, after you've made those after-tax contributions through either in-service withdrawal or in-plan Roth conversions, you want to make that conversion at that point. This diagram gives us a little bit of an idea of different types of 401k contributions, the four different types that we're talking about. The first two, the pre-tax and the Roth, are those regular contribution limits of $23,500, again, for those under age 50, plus additional catch-ups. If you are over 50 to 59 or 64 plus, you can add another $7,500 or $11,250, again, if you're in that new group of 60 to 63-year-olds, excuse me. Once you max those out, you then look at the after-tax contributions to come up to that maximum amount. But you do not forget about the employer piece. A lot of employers will have some sort of matching formula based on your contributions, or maybe they do an annual profit sharing contribution. So you want to understand what those will be before you plan to make your after-tax contributions so that you do not exceed the limits of the aggregate total, again, $70,000 under age 50, and then $77,500 or $81,250, again, based on your age. So, okay, so pitfalls and considerations. With this strategy, there is actually the potential for some tax liability if you don't make the in-service distribution or the Roth conversion in a timely manner. The longer you leave those contributions in the after-tax bucket in the 401k, it's likely that they will grow over time. And this growth is considered pre-tax contribution. So when you have both pre-tax and after-tax contributions in an account that you want to convert to a Roth, you're going to trigger what they call the pro rata rule. And this rule requires that all distributions are taken proportionately from pre-tax and after-tax contribution sources in one account. So for example, we'll look at another example here. Let's say that you've contributed $40,000 to the after-tax bucket and you left it in there for a period of time and it grew to $50,000. Now you decide to convert it to the Roth. The after-tax portion, there is no tax liability on that, but the pre-tax portion, again, the growth, that's going to be taxable. So if in this scenario, if you converted that whole $50,000, you're going to have an additional $10,000 of income that you need to pay taxes on. But let's say you don't want to realize that whole gain. So you only do a partial conversion, say half of the account. Well, that same percentage on taxable and non-taxable amounts that are being converted are going to come into play here. So basically, $40,000 is 80% of the account value. So 80% of any amount you convert will be tax-free, but the other 20% in this example will be taxable. So you can see as well, the longer you leave those after-tax contributions in there, the more likely it is that the income or the taxable event is going to grow over time as that account grows. So make those conversions as soon as possible after you make the contributions. But there is also one other way that the pro rata rule comes into play, and that's if your plan is allowing in-service distributions, and so you're going to be rolling the after-tax bucket into an IRA before you convert it to the Roth. So you need to make sure that you don't have any other pre-tax IRAs and other accounts out there with funds in them. If you do, and you do this type of the strategy, you're going to trigger that pro rata rule. Luckily, there's a workaround though. A lot of retirement plans will allow you to roll those pre-tax IRAs into your current 401k plan. So that way you can eliminate any pre-tax funds out there. So when you do that in-service distribution of the after-tax bucket from your 401k, that will all be after-tax funds. There is no pre-tax, so there is no pro rata rule. So you want to keep that in mind. That's, some people forget about old 401ks once in a while. They roll it into an IRA and then they might even forget about that. So you want to be real clear, real sure that you don't have any of those lingering out there. There are also some restrictions on when you can withdraw the funds after a conversion. There's a 5-year waiting period before you can access the funds. If you do access the funds within 5 years, you can be taxed on the earnings. And if you're under age 59 and a half, you can incur a 10% early withdrawal penalty as well. So make sure you keep a good track of when those conversions were made, because each conversion has its own 5-year time clock on there. Just make sure you've got other liquid funds that, for emergencies and so forth. So these are just a couple of the pitfalls and bumps in the road that can happen if you don't fully understand the rules behind the Mega Backdoor Roth IRA and how the conversion works. So I highly recommend that you do consult with a professional for advice on how to avoid any unnecessary taxes and or penalties associated with this type of a strategy. So is the Mega Backdoor Roth IRA right for you? I've got a couple questions here. If the answer to all of them is yes, this is a very viable strategy. The first one, can I afford to make additional after-tax contributions? So I think you want to ask yourself, hey, I've got my emergency savings of 6 to 12 months in the bank. I might have some other investment accounts in liquid places where I can access funds for any other unforeseen circumstances. And I have this extra income that I don't really need right now. So if that's the case, this strategy might well fit into your long-term plans. The second question is, you need to have access to a plan that permits this. Again, if the answer is yes, this is a very viable strategy. Now, the third question here is, do the potential long-term savings align with my retirement goals? This is where you, again, might want to consult with a professional to take a look at, how much longer do you think you're going to work? So how long will these contributions be able to grow in a tax-free manner in the Roth? And if you are retiring sooner rather than later, do you have other income sources that you can tap into to allow the tax-free Roth contributions time to really grow and be the most benefit to you? So if the answer to all of those questions is yes, this is a very good option and you really want to consider it. Next steps to get started. Again, confirm that your plan allows after-tax contributions, first of all. If so, also understand if it allows the in-plan Roth 401k conversion or in-service distributions where you go the IRA route, because there are little different processes there. Again, there's many nuances to the backdoor Roth IRA strategy, so I do highly recommend, at least getting some consult from a professional tax advisor or financial planner. And then begin making your after-tax contributions, but not before you've maxed out the regular pre-tax or Roth contribution limits plus catch-ups. And in order to avoid any gains on the after-tax contributions, which trigger that pro rata rule, you may want to set up a regular schedule for conversion of rollovers if your plan allows. You don't want the money to grow too much in there and end up, paying taxes and also getting stuck with the pro rata roll. Some of the questions that I often get with this type of a strategy is, hey, I've made my regular contributions and the catch-up contributions. Can I just write a check now for the after-tax contribution? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Any contributions to these 401k plans needs to go through payroll. They got to be deducted through payroll. So you want to plan the strategy out early in the year so you can get your regular contributions and catch-up contributions in place and still have time to make those after-tax contributions for the remainder of the year. Another question, I just got this the other day with that new catch-up niche there from 60 to 63-year-olds, is this gentleman was turning 64 this December in 2025. He asked me if he's able to make that $11,250 catch-up contribution. I said, unfortunately, he can't because if you're 64 at any time in the year, your catch-up contribution reverts back to the $7,500. Now, the same rule applies to someone that's just turning 50 that's going to try and do their first catch-up contribution. So if you're 50 at any point in the year, you can make that $7,500 contribution as well. So what the IRS is really looking at here is, what is your age on December 31st as the qualifying age? Well, that covers our topic today. If you have any other questions or want to learn more about this topic, you can call me at 760-692-5190 or scan the QR code on your screen. I'll leave that up here for a couple of minutes. And you can schedule a free consultation to learn more about this. Again, I thank you for taking the time out this afternoon. I know your time is valuable, so we do appreciate that. Again, please give us a call or set up an online consultation. And I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon and a fabulous rest of your week. Remember, your future starts today.